everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. If you're new here, oh my gosh, thank you. Hi, how are you? My name is Julie, and I am an author and a booktuber, and I'm here to talk about all things books, usually. But today is an author-tube video, so I hope you guys will stick around. Today I am here with the work in progress tag, and I have it pulled up on my computer, which is over to the side of me. I'm going to go over the questions. I haven't seen too many of these, and I also have not pre-prepared any of my answers, so we'll see how this goes. But this is by author Jessie Elliott, and she originally did this. I think she's got a couple different versions out for different books that she's worked on in the past. I am going to be answering this about book 1 of my new series. I do have a book already published. I haven't actually have it in front of me. It is Shoot Down the Wendy Bird by me, Julie Zantopoulos. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Book Depository, all of the booksellers. Just look for it, but like only online. I know some people have gone into stores and looked for it. Oh, you guys are great and I love you, but I'm not in stores. You have to find it online. I also have a fantasy series that I am working on. I have finished book 1. I'm in the editing process to get it ready for beta readers, and I have started writing book 2. Now, while book 2 is what I'm technically writing right now, I am mainly focused on book 1 and my editing process for that. So I am going to answer all these questions for book 1 because I don't want to spoil anything for book 2. You guys already have met my main characters, which continue from book 1 to book 2. But if you have not seen my Meet My Main Character tag, check that out up above. And I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions about my current work in progress, which is book 1. The first question is, what is the working title of your book? And I did not have a working title of my book while I was writing it. However, since then I have loosely titled all 3 of the books in my series that I have mapped out so far. Book 1 will be Dawn Till Dusk. It's kind of reminiscent of the way that I guess Ashlyn's life is going. You know, things are really, really good at the beginning of the book and they tend to darken. So you go from dawn till dusk. It's a progression, and then those kind of vibes for the titles continue through the rest of the books, but I'm not going to tell you all of them yet. We'll see how it goes, but that's the tentative title for right now. Number 2 is, where did the idea for my book come from? And I think I've answered this in a Q&A before. I don't remember where exactly it came from. I do know that I've had it in my head for about 5 years. I've always been obsessed with fae, but I've always been very, very intrigued by witches as well. And I knew that I wanted a crossover between the two, and I wanted something that included both of those things. I guess the idea just kind of came to me from there. It came to me in bits and pieces, and I don't recall exactly how all of that happened. It just kind of happened. I outlined books 1, 2, and 3 about 4.5, 5 years ago, so it's been a while. Number 3 is, what genre does my book fall under? And this is a difficult one for me. I wrote it as YA, but I'm going to edit it and publish it hopefully as new adult, which does not necessarily mean a ton of smexy time. What it does mean is that it's college-aged kids, and I really thought that there was a lack of college-aged fantasies, and I wanted to be able to provide that. It's hard for me to describe book 1 as a fantasy. It may read more like a contemporary to a lot of people because it's set in a world that is going to be recognizable even if there's magical elements that aren't an urban fantasy, I guess, since it does have like contemporary feels and a world that you know, but then also some magical elements. It's a process to figure out where this book falls, guys. All I know is that I love it. I hope you love it too. Number 4. Oh no. What actors would I pick to play my characters in the movie rendition? I don't fan cast. I don't fan cast when I read a book, and I don't fan cast for my own work. That's so hard for me to do. Ashlyn is Ashlyn, and Reardon is Reardon, and Trent is Trent, and Letty is Letty, and Sean is Sean, and Kyle and Natalie, and her parents, and there's no way for me to fan cast these people because they're already just so clearly a certain person in my head. It's hard for me to allocate those characteristics to like a living person that I see as both the actress and the roles that they've played in the past. So I have no idea. I don't think I can do it. It's just not something I do. Number 5, what is the one sentence synopsis of your book? I have had this in my head for so long, and the elevator pitch has changed so much because the story has changed as I wrote it. So originally it was a girl from a small town that discovers that she is more special than she knew. That's so generic, right? I haven't like rewritten my one sentence synopsis. So if I had to tell you in one sentence what Dawn Till Dusk was, I would say it is about uncovering family secrets and discovering your place in a world that looks nothing like you used to think it looked. Number 6, will I be self-published or represented by an agency? I will hopefully be represented by an agency, but if I have to self-publish, I have no problems doing that. I loved self-publishing the first time around. I loved the control that that gave me. While I would love to be able to pitch this book to people if they just don't love it and I can't get anybody to look at it in a way that gives me constructive criticism so that I can eventually get it through an agency, then I will probably just self-publish it. I really do think that self-publishing is becoming like the new way to publish. I think a lot of authors appreciate the control that that gives them, and I think the traditional publishing, while it's not necessarily going by the wayside, is a lot less important to the success of the book, especially if you know people in the book community. I don't think it's as necessary. Like, obviously you still would love to be traditionally published, but I have no problem putting this book out to you guys self-published. Number 7, how long did it take me to write the first draft of the manuscript? The actual writing process of book 1 took me a little bit under 2 months. When I kind of took out my character sheets and all of my notes and all of my plotting and like pre-work for the book and really looked at just my word count, I had maybe 7,000 words already done, and the majority of them did not stay through the first round of writing. So I ended up with about 97,000 words, a little bit over 97,000 words for book 1, and I wrote all of that in 2 months. I had a 2,000 a day goal for my writing, and I stuck to that pretty heavily. I went over and under, obviously, some days, but it took me a little bit under 2 months to write all of book 1. Number 8, what other books would I compare this to? I would compare this to probably the Wicked Lovely series by Melissa Marr, because there is a lot of Faye in it eventually. I would say maybe book 2 is more Melissa Marr. Book 1, which is what I should be talking about, Get It Together, Julie. Book 1 would be probably more along the lines of something like a Practical Magic, where it's set in our world and you're just kind of getting the first tastes of magic. Number 9, who or what inspired you to write the book? Nobody inspired me to write the book. I've been writing since forever. You guys know this. I've talked about that before. And in terms of what inspired me, it was just kind of my love for both of these genres and both of these creatures, the witches and the fae. That was it. I don't think there's necessarily inspiration from any one person or any one place. It was just my imagination. And then the last question is, what else about my book might pique a reader's interest? I have already gone over my characters. I've already talked about both of my main characters, and I think that that video should pique your interest. I think my characters are fantastic. So really, I think the characters are my strong suit. I felt that way even through Shoot Down the Wendy Bird. I love the way that I write characters. I love the way that I write dialogue. I think that it's a fast-moving book. I'm really excited about doing the edits so that I can make it a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more real and rich and deep. I'm really diving into some of these scenes and making them feel a lot more like Shoot Down the Wendy Bird, where I pay more attention to like specific moments instead of the broad scheme, and making sure that each scene is as rich as it can be. I'm really excited to do those edits. They're gonna take time, so I know you guys really want this book, but I want to make it great for you. And then I think that the other thing that's going to be a really good selling point for me is that it is new adult and it's a college-aged fantasy, and I just really haven't seen very many of those. So I'm very excited to have an aged up male and female protagonists that are leading this story that can be mature and adult and not necessarily, you know, sex driven, but still have maturity to the characters that is believable because of their age. Hopefully that's a selling point for you. I also think that it's just an amazing transformation in this girl who is by all means, beautiful at the start of the book and beautiful at the end. And she's strong at the beginning and she's strong at the end. And you have no transformation in terms of who she is just because she learns about these powers. I've tried to stay true to her from the beginning to the end of the book and the beginning to the end of the series. Hopefully that is a really big sticking point for you too, because there is a little bit of like the chosen one-ish to this, you know, like she does have a very big role to play in both the Fae and the human world. And I don't want it to be too tropey. You know, she struggles a lot with learning that, and it's not always easy for her. And I think that that's going to be hopefully a big selling point, is that I'm trying to approach it from a different way. So we'll see. You guys will have to tell me when I get this to beta readers, which I'm so nervous about, but so ready for. I'm not ready. I'm emotionally ready to get it into beta readers' hands, but the book is just not ready for you guys yet. So it will be coming. That's it for my work in progress tag. I really look forward to doing this when book 2 is finished. I'm about 22,000 words into book 2 right now, so I've got a great head start, but I really am focusing right now on book 1 and these edits so that I can get it to beta readers. And then while it's in beta readers' hands, I can distract myself with writing book 2. So I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus from writing so I can really focus on this editing, which at this point is really more of like a rewrite and tightening. So it really is still writing. So that's where I am right now. I'm so glad that you guys are excited to come with me along this journey in AuthorTube and in writing. Let me know in a poll. I'll put a poll up here. Are you guys interested in me doing writing vlogs or editing vlogs or letting you see kind of behind the scenes? Would you be interested in videos on my editing process? I will have probably 2 different polls listed up here, whether or not you'll be interested in writing and editing vlogs, and whether or not you would be interested in actual, like, how I edit, how I write videos. I'll have both of those listed up above in a little poll card. And then if you guys can also comment down below and let me know anything else, any AuthorTube tags that you'd be interested in, if you have any questions that you would like me to address over editing or writing, definitely leave them down below. I ran out of memory card space, so I had to delete some stuff really quick. But definitely let me know down below. Maybe I'll do like a specific Q&A just about my characters in my book. So if you have any specific questions about my book, my characters, my writing process, my editing process, definitely let me know down below. I would like to do more of those kinds of videos and use them as supplemental videos here at Pages and Pens. I will check back in with all the statistics on those and hopefully get you guys some content that you're interested in. I look forward to hearing your feedback on that. Also, my channel survey will be listed down below if you'd be interested in taking that. I would love to know your feedback. And you could potentially get your name listed as one of the Fae in my book if you go ahead and take that survey. My channel survey is listed down below, as well as Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, all the places that you can follow me for bookish stuff and author-related updates. I update my Insta stories all the time with editing, writing, reading updates, so definitely check me out there. I'll also have a link down below to Shoot Down the Wendy Bird if you're interested in picking up my first published works, self-published works, and that is it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.